So since that boy season is over, I kind of wanted to create this poster scene right here. And so we're going to go in Blender. We're going to do a step-by-step. I'll show you how to do the lighting setup. And then we can see at the end, compared if I got the lighting close enough. Not the environment exactly, but the lighting. And then we can see what tips and tricks we can learn from the whole process. So first of all, we want to get our characters. And I use a add-on called Blender Kit. All I did was go to preference. I typed in Blender Kit online. So you just like basically head to a website where you get your own assets and everything. You can log in and eventually you can bring your own assets right here. And if you install it, you can type in whatever. So I got all my assets here. So I typed in planet. And then I got all the ones that are not locked are all free to use. You do have to pay if you want to get the locked ones, but this is the one I grabbed right here. So if I go to a material, this is the planet it came with, all the assets that came, like the atmosphere and the clouds. Those were automatically in with it. And then I grabbed a star background, and all I did was get I copied the image, and then I went to image right here. I went to mesh plane, and then you just grab the image you have. And so I ended up getting this guy in the front. He's getting lit. He has like a little bit of like edge light right here. And then we have the planet getting like blown up. And we have basically it's like space. So lighting from space is it's always pretty strong. So it's gonna be really bright. And we wanna get the edge right here with the light. So what we wanna do first is I have the camera already set up. So I put the camera right here. I put a 125 focal length to grab that like size of the planet. So let's just adjust it right here. Let's go to materials so it looks better. And we want to get the planet like halfway, like 1/3 or 1/4 of the way right here. And then we can have it end like that. So let's try to see if we can get that planet. So move like that. Move it right here. I did stretch a little bit when I was playing with it, but so that's why it looks a little different. But let's see, we go like that. I think that's about good as long as we can capture that exactly. And let's grab our guy right here. You want to move him right in front of the camera. You also scale him if maybe he's like too big or not, as long as it looks good on the camera. So we could just scale it like that. I think what I had before was good. And the character is kind of like taking up almost taking up the whole right side. And then there's the image of the stars I grabbed. That's good for the stars. So what we can do is let's go and click on the sun, and let's point the sun at the character. Let's make the power source 10, and let's just keep rotating until we get the edge light right there. We want to get almost the exact same lighting, so we can do 400. Let's add a bit of color to it, and let's see, maybe the area light is better. Sometimes the area light is stronger. And you can go ahead and go to relations, make single user, and then you can just set a shortcut for the stuff. So if you right click, you can change the shortcut, add a shortcut. So for me, I'd set it to P. So when I click P, it will be its own object. So if I change the color here, if I change the color here, it won't affect the color here. So that's always good. And let me do a point light. And let's bring it to the left. Remember, 3-point lighting perspective. It's always good. And let me just change the lighting a little bit. And next, let's duplicate that. And I'll click P to separate as its own object. Let me add a little blue on the side. And we want the right camera or the lighting setup, the right light has to be less than the left one, but it has to have a little bit of light. So this one, the edge will have a much brighter one, and then the one on the left will have a less brighter one, and the right one will have a less brighter one. And next we want to have a light on the planet. So let's rotate this right here. I'll press P to separate it and increase the size of that. Rotate it right here. Let's just make it really bright. Maybe a little bit to the right side. Maybe back it out. Okay. I think that's good for now. And next we want to have a rim around the planet. So when I'll make sure you put these in their own section. I have a lighting section right here. But when I imported the scene, it made its own collection of library. So it's its own like little thing. It's nice, it's all set up. But what I want to do is duplicate the sci-fi planet. And what I want to do is to create a rim is go to material output, get a mix shader, put it in like that. If you want to get an emission, this will create the brightness of it. Connect the emission to the shader, make it pretty bright. You want to make it blue. And you want to go to layer weight. This is what allows us to have that little edge around it, and go to factor. And the other node we need is the color ramp. So this will control how much rim light is over the planet. So if we do it like that, then we can control the planet, the rim. So let's try to copy right there. So it's pretty skinny light, maybe a little bit more brighter. And now I'm gonna try to scale it, the one we duplicated. Let's try to have try to adjust the camera. Make sure we have the clouds, the atmosphere. And now that we have that going on, we can maybe try to rotate the clouds, or the clouds, yeah, clouds. And maybe we could just change it to whatever we want. Kind of up to preference. But next we have a basic light. It's pretty simple. Maybe the lighting could show more of his back, because it's not too dark. So maybe a little bit like that. And just imagine there's a cape going right here. And next, let's make sure the settings are good. We want to go to color management, have Chronos, but if you want to adjust the view, I usually just do Chronos because it has the most color in it, and I just do high contrast. Maybe I could change it to medium contrast. I think high contrast is good. Film is also good for like realistic, like maybe some product design, but usually just do Chronos. And then if you want to make sure the colors are good, we want to make sure the brightness isn't too orange. So I try to do exposure, try to bring it down to an even like blue or kind of grayish look. So I think that's good. Let's see how it looks on the Chronos. Okay, looks a little good. I don't really know gamma too much, but it kind of just adjusts the light, so you can just adjust that here and there. But let me just do a render of this and see how it looks in the composite. Also, one other thing before we do the render is we want to make a more like atmosphere look to it, and that's where volumetric comes in. I almost forgot about it. But just make like a square or whatever shape you want. I usually do square for volumetrics. And next, let's go to new, go to surface, go to principal volume. So volume to volume. And right now I was like, why is it all black? Well, this is basically the smoke, and the density as well will determine how thick it'll be. So I like going to 0.05 or 1. And that looks pretty good, but a little too smoky for my taste. And now that's the density we want. And the anisotropy, that's one thing where you control like how much dust or like smoke is showing. So we just like that. And that's pretty much good. And if we want, we could also do a depth of field on the camera. So we click on the camera, I just clicked on it. Oh, and also the volumetrics. If you can't see anything, don't worry about it. Click on the cube I made, and we go to object, and we go to viewport. Click on wire, and so now you can see everything. But what I want to do is click on the camera, and I want to create a depth of field for the scene. So just a little touch, just make it look a little nicer. And next we can just render and see how it looks. If you guys want to try out some more lighting setups, I do have a free lighting product animation setup I have in my Gumroad. It's a good way to practice, so if you want to check that out for free, I have it in my Gumroad for free if you want to check it out. So definitely give it a look. But let's get back into the video. So we have this scene right here. I think I'm pretty happy with how the rim is looking. I added some depth of field. It's a little different than the poster. But I went to composite. I before was playing around with the little glare, but this is what creates the glow. So if I go right here, we won't be able to get that glow right there. So the glare node is really nice. And all you can do is just adjust the strength. You can decrease the size of it. One thing I do want to change is how much thickness that is. So let's just go back. Right now we have, let's go in the render view. A cool tip I like to give is to go right here, you click disabled. Right, this is a compositor, so the compositor basically can show up on the scene. So it's disabled, but if you click always, it'll show up in the camera. So we don't have to keep rendering the whole environment. And next we can kind of determine, let's see. So let's just re-render it and just adjust it in the compositor. All right, so now we have the rim adjusted right here. I like it better that way. So let's go to the composite and let's kind of adjust the strength of it. I guess like we just have to increase the rim right here, but pretty much I'm kind of happy with what I have. And then you can also, there's like some presets right here. There's one called vignette. We kind of copy the poster already, so I can just go ahead and make some adjustments of my own, and this will create like a black rim around the whole image, which makes it look a little nicer, but we don't want it too cornered. So is when you adjust that. I think these are good as one. And we're pretty much just want the lighting. We don't have to worry about the vignette. But you know, one little thing I do like to do is to go RGB curve. And you can adjust the darks and the light of the scene. You just take some 3-point lighting setups. You do a big old area light, and then another, if you want, you can do area light on the stars as well. I think I forgot to do that, but it's always an option. But if you guys were interested in learning some more lighting setups, I do have this tutorial. If you want to check it out, it's a nice one to learn some lighting. And I hope you guys had a good one. I'll see you guys in the next lighting series.